was even found inside her ears. Her body was also covered in maggots. The first responders would report that her body was practically fused to the sofa. Lacey weighed just 96 pounds at the time of her death. An autopsy report showed that the cause of death was due to a number of reasons, such as chronic malnutrition, acute starvation, acute ulcer formation, and a bone infection, which finally led to sepsis from the autopsy and from the crime scene analysis. It's speculated that Lacey could have been left on the sofa for 12 agonising years. They weren't even able to say when Lacey had last been moved, but it's reported by some sources that Lacey was suffering from a rare neurological disorder known as locked-in syndrome, in which a person becomes paralysed and all voluntary muscles except for the ones that control the eyes cease to work. Although some sources do claim that this diagnosis is false. However, a fact that is certain is that Lacey was diagnosed with social anxiety and severe autism. The couple were questioned by the police, and they wanted to know how and why Lacey was in such a state. Both Clay and Sheila claimed that they did care for Lacey and that they would clean her and bring her meals. They said that her anxiety was so bad that she refused to leave the living room and would not move too far from the couch. They claimed that Lacey would defecate and urinate on towels next to the sofa, and that Lacey was in a sound state of mind before she died. According to the couple, there was no need to see a doctor, as Lacey had never complained about her sores, and that she was able to live freely. However, District Attorney Sandy Quilo firmly disagrees. He stated for certain that Lacey would have been in an extreme amount of pain, and the district attorney also made the point that on a murder charge you have to intend, and went on to say that he firmly believes the couple intended to neglect their daughter to the point of death. The coroner, Dr. Pickham, stated that case of Lacey was one of the most heinous crimes he had ever encountered, and went on to say that after he inspected her body, he cried and couldn't eat for a week. When he was examining the home, Dr. Pickham said that the father was completely emotionless, and that the mother showed slight signs of grief, and was crying a little bit. The sheriff, Jeffrey Travis, also made a statement in which he said, "I have been the sheriff here for 6 years, and I have seen a lot of things happen, but this is by far the worst." On the 2nd of April 2022, Clay and Sheila were arrested. What is she wanted to, could have easily been able to get the necessary help for Lacey. And Clay worked for a non-profit charity. Some of the neighbours and many friends of the Fletchers didn't even know they had a daughter. Once the news came out, one of the neighbours reported that they had not seen Lacey for over 15 years. They described her as just a fun, normal kid before becoming isolated from her neighbourhood friends. From the age of about 14, her parents claimed that her autism accelerated when she was around this age, and as a result was homeschooled. or he would